Welcome to the masterclass, where we're going to talk about how to control your racing thoughts and overwhelming emotions. But before we get into it, let me ask you something. My dear, are your racing thoughts and overwhelming emotions taking over you up to the point where you can focus and you can thrive in life? Yes? Then you're in the right place. But before we dive into it, let me put you in a context because you're not the only one feeling like this. Probably you're overthinking, you're feeling overwhelmed, with difficulties to manage your stress, maybe anxiety. You're feeling frustrated because you can't stop this situation. And at a physical level, you're feeling exhausted. Maybe with lack of focus. Maybe you're experiencing headaches, digestive issues. Maybe you're having problems to sleep. You're experiencing as well changes in your eating pattern. Do you reflect? Yeah. Well, despite all these alerts, you keep on pushing. You keep on repeating to keep going, that it will just go away. But no, let me tell you, no. You're surviving instead of enjoying. And this is not normal. This is why in this masterclass, I'm going to show you how your racing thoughts and overwhelming emotions are having such a negative impact in your life. And the most important, we're going to see what are the steps you need to follow in order to control them. Anyway, my name is Marta Raga. I'm an ICF coach specialized in stress and anxiety, which means racing thoughts and overwhelming emotions. Yes. So let's start with the first question. Why do I have these racing thoughts, Marta? Is there something wrong with me? No. This is the first thing that I want you to bear in mind. No, there's nothing wrong with you because you're experiencing overthinking or overwhelm. These thoughts are generated by your fears and your worries, whether about the day ahead or your future or due to your unresolved issues and traumas from the past. When I talk about traumas, we tend to understand something big, like a big traumatic event, like a car accident, abandon from your dad or your mom, like some abuse. Yes, those are traumas. There are many other type of small traumas that they are stored in our subconscious mind that we all have. And these small traumas we're not aware of because, as I said, they are in our subconscious mind, are the ones determine the way you perceive reality, the way you're feeling, the way you're reacting against certain circumstances or events. No, those small traumas are the ones shaping the way you're feeling and the way you're thinking. And those small traumas are the ones creating this mental whirlwind that it's really tough to quiet down when we're missing the right tools. So this is the first important concept I want you to bear in mind. Second concept, why they are so overwhelming? Well, because there are complex issues determined by different consequences. For the first one, your racing thoughts generate very intense streams of emotions and worries that makes it challenging to process and manage them effectively when you're missing the right tools. Then those racing thoughts are always focusing on the negative side, on the catastrophic thoughts, and this is amplifying your emotional distress. Then the fact that you cannot control it because you're missing the tools increases your frustration, making you feel helplessness. And the sense of being controlled by your mind is even more overwhelming. Another important consequence that they are so constant and they affect every single area of your life that this makes it very difficult to focus on what you're doing on your task, or it makes it very difficult for you to enjoy those little moments that before they were just bringing joy or happiness. And this fact as well is contributing a very big extent to your stress and your sense of overwhelm. Then they don't come alone. They come with physical sensations and physical symptoms like tension, like restlessness, and all this is intensifying even more your racing thoughts. Or aren't you worried just because you're having physical sensations that you never had before? Am I getting sick? Is there something wrong with me? Why my stomach is why do I have this pinch in my stomach? Why my stomach is not digesting properly? Why I'm not sleeping? These physical symptoms are generating even more racing thoughts. And all together, all the emotions that you feel, the negativity of these thoughts, the lack of control, the constant thoughts, and the physical sensations that come along are generating a feedback loop, that at the same time are generating more and more racing thoughts, making a cycle very hard to break when you're missing the right strategies and approaches to break it. This is why you feel so overwhelmed not because there's something wrong with you, because by its own essence and nature, and the consequences in your body at the physical, emotional, and mental level. This is why I want you to be aware, not only how these racing thoughts are working, what they are generating, but when you let them unmanaged for a long period of time, the negative consequences they might have in your overall well-being. Because at a physical level, they can develop chronic stress, they can change your sleeping patterns and weaken your immune system. At a mental level, they affect your decision-making function. They lead you to reduce your focus, your attention, your memory, and they also foster a negative thought pattern that, when left unmanaged for a long period of time, can contribute to develop anxiety and depression. And not only that, at an emotional level, they can affect your ability to connect and communicate with others, straining your relationship with friends, with family, with your loved ones, and with colleagues or superiors at work. I'm mentioning all this because I want you to know what is behind those racing thoughts and overwhelming emotions. And this is why I'm making this masterclass, because 10 years ago, I was in your skin. And this is why I know, because I experienced it in my own skin, that if you don't take an action now, if you don't take action now, your professional development is going to stop. Your physical health is going to get weakened, and your work-life balance is going to get unbalanced. And you might end up developing a mental condition like I did with my high functioning anxiety and my burnout. And I don't want you to make the same mistakes I did 10 years ago. This is why I'm making this masterclass, okay? Because right now we have a lot of information we didn't have that time, and I want you to benefit from it. You might be thinking as well, okay, they are really negative. I can feel it in my life. I'm doing as much as I can to control them, but I can't. I can't make it. I'm not capable of doing it. And every day I'm feeling worse and worse. Again, is there something wrong with me? Why I'm not capable of doing it? Well, it's not that you're not capable. It's that no one told you how to do it. Just telling to our brain to stop or just neglecting what we're feeling is not enough. It's not enough. It doesn't work like this, I'm sure for you, it's normal to go to driving school to get the driving license or to learn how to drive a car, right? We all do it. If you have a driving license, it's because you went at some time to driving school. So with our brain and with our emotions, it's exactly the same. We just think that because we feel them and have them deep inside of us, we're going to be able to deal with them. But our mind and our emotional brain system doesn't work like this. And we need to know how it works in order to be able to manage it and control it. It's like a car. We need to learn how it works, how to drive it in order to drive it and enjoy it and get the benefit out of it, which is drive us ourselves wherever we want to go. We need to learn to drive our mind and our emotions. This is what I'm just mentioning it, the same way we did with our car. But don't worry, because it's much easier, trust me, to learn to drive your mind and emotions than learning to drive a car. Learning to drive a car involves so many things, and if you did it, you're going to do it with your mind and your overwhelming emotions. And if you don't have a driving license, it doesn't matter. I'm sure you have learned to use a computer. I'm sure you have learned to do some online shopping. I'm sure you have learned to use a tablet or an iPhone, right? So this is exactly the same. It's just a matter of learning. That's it. If you can learn how to manage your mind, your thoughts, and your emotions. Trust me. And I'm asking you this because what we're doing is we're trying to control our racing thoughts and emotions without learning. It's like if we're trying to drive an helicopter with what we have learned at the driving school while driving a car. Exactly the same. If I will tell you, okay, here you have the keys of my helicopter, since you have your driving license, would you drive me to Paris? Would you fly me to Paris? You will say, no, Martha, no. What I have learned in my driving school to drive a car, it's not applicable to drive an helicopter, right? Despite both of them are vehicles, despite both of them, they have plunge, gear, they have, bottoms, but no, doesn't work like this. Helicopter is an helicopter and a car is a car, right? So it's the same. Our mind is our mind, our emotions are our emotions. They have several approaches behind. You need to learn in order to be able to drive them. So this is why I want you to understand that we need to learn to drive our mind and our emotions. And this is why I want to share with you the steps to follow to manage it so you can thrive, you can enjoy, and get back to this peace of mind you really miss, you really want. So, ready? Let's go for the first steps. First step, identify the triggers of your fears and excessive worries to reset them so you can break the cycle of your intrusive thoughts. Yes, because as we have said before, our racing thoughts are based in our fears and worries, whether about the future or whether from the past, So we really need to dig deep and get into the triggers in order to reset them. The second step we need to follow is learn techniques to spot and diffuse your emotional hijacks. Why? Because this emotional hijacks is this situation where we emotionally explode. Have you ever had an argument with a loved one when you were really, really, really hijacked by your emotion, and hours later, maybe the day after, you just regret about what you have just said, what you did, the decisions you took? Well, that's because during this argument, you were in an emotional hijack and your emotions were controlling you. The day after, the emotional hijack was released and you rationally thought about what you said, what you did, the decisions you took, and you regret about them because you were not fully aware of them. Why? Because your emotions took over you. And this is what we want to avoid with the fact of controlling your emotional hijack. I want you to stay cool and calm, and collected, even more in the high pressure situations to boost your confidence and your performance. I want you to get empowered by your emotions and not controlled by them as you're doing right now, because you're missing the tool to manage it. Another one, learn to manage each emotion on its own. You cannot approach guilt the same way you're approaching frustration, or you cannot approach anxiety in the same way you're approaching the lack of joy or motivation. Each emotion needs its own approach. It's easy once you know how to approach it, to manage it, to handle it, and get empowered by it, And why do we want to do that? Because we want to feel emotionally balanced. We really want to feel emotionally balanced. And all these 3 steps are the ones you need to follow. And now you might wonder, okay, Madam, how do I do this? This is what I need to do, but how do I do it? Okay, you have 2 options. First one, you can visit a therapist specialized in emotional management. He or she is going to provide you with the right tools and strategies and techniques that are going to help you get those coping skills you need to control your mind and your emotions, to get empowered by them and make them your ally. Yes, you can go there and he or she will help them a lot. Or the second option, you can do it on your own, learning at your own pace with my online guidance and from the comfort of your home. It's going to be cheaper, it's going to be faster, and you're not going to have all this hassle with the therapy appointments and all this, You're going to be on your own, learning, applying, and then maximizing your life, increasing your confidence of being able to control your racing thoughts and overwhelming emotions. How? Well, it's called Excel. It's an online program where we're going to dig into your fears and worries to get back to your peace of mind. Why fear and worry? Well, because they are the main causes of your overthinking. They are the basement. These excessive worries about the past or future events, it's what is contributing, it's what is generating your intrusive thoughts. And we want to reset them and eliminate them from its roots, Then we're going to see how your emotions are connected to your performance. And once you know the link, you're going to see how powerful and how your performance improves. But for me, the most exciting part is about emotional hijacks, These moments that you used to throw you off balance. Can you imagine to learn to control them, to spot them, to diffuse them, and to stay cool under pressure? This is what you're going to get once you understand how they work and what you need to do to control them. Then you're going to learn emotional management. You're going to master your emotions. We're going to start with effective stress management to get back your peace of mind. Then we will explore anger. We will reconnect with joy and motivation. You will learn how to overcome frustration and even tackle guilt head on. Yeah. And of course, we're not going to forget about anxiety. You're going to get this toolkit to manage your anxiety, to change those irrational thoughts and stay strong whenever anxiety is controlling you. And don't worry about its complexity, because it's far way much easier than controlling a car, than driving a car. Yes. Now, when you drive, You don't remember anymore these overwhelming sensations that you had when you were in the driving school, where you have to be thinking about so many things. You have integrated and you drive and you don't realize anymore what you're doing. You just drive, enjoy, and go, right? Well, learning to manage or to drive your rated that overwhelming emotion is far way easier, cheaper, and faster. So if you did it, you can make it. How? Because Excel has snappy packed videos with science-backed strategies. They're going to help you out to control your overwhelm and your racing thoughts. You will follow at your own pace, making your emotions and your thoughts your ally and not your enemy. But here comes the exciting part, While the rest of the world is increasing the prices on these inflationary times we're living, we are reducing them. So this is why we're offering a 30% discount till the end of the month, making it just 166 euros plus the VAT of your country. Why? Because we really want to help you out. We really want you to thrive. And not only happy with that, we're also going to give you 2 bonuses from the same price, just till the end of the month. First one, you're going to get an extra chapter with how to set boundaries at work, learn how to say no to your superiors, to your colleagues, always with assertivity, always to boost your leadership, always to boost your performance and productivity. And this is an information you're going to be able to use not only at work, but in your life, because setting healthy boundaries is extremely important when managing your racing thoughts, your fears, and your overwhelming emotions. And the second and the most special bonus for me, it's a one-to-one exclusive coaching session of 60 minutes with me. It's valued at 120 years. And there, we're gonna see how to set up the strategy for you to thrive, to excel in life after learning how to manage your racing thoughts and your overwhelming emotion. You know you deserve a life free from overthinking and overwhelm. And you just can get it one click away. It's your life, it's your choice. You choose.